subject is very interesting because this is the 3 steps by which one can understand about the reality. So we are going to study the Vedanta, the pure Vedanta. Veda Anta, you know that if you break the word, Veda is knowledge. Anta, the end, the last knowledge. What is that last knowledge? My own identity with the Brahman. Any knowledge, if we like to know that, like to learn about that, it is a special process. Suppose you are going to study the science, you have to go through different subjects, arts, fine arts, or whatever. Any subject that you are going to learn, you have to go through that processes, and the teachers are different. But decision is yours. So what subject I am going to study, that decision is yours. How I am going to approach, that will be system will take you into that. But first decision is, am I going to be a Vedantin? Do I like to know who am I? So that is the question. Those who are thinking constantly, they will study the Vedanta. And that is the reason there are so many Upanishads and so many paths have developed. In India, it is completely free. The philosophy and the quest and the question and the persuasion, you are free. Anytime you can do. So we developed Vedanta, Yoga, Samkhya, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaishashika, all these wonderful philosophies. And what is this philosophy actually doing? Giving us 3 answers. Who is the creator of this creation? What is the creation? And what is the relation between the creator and the creation? That much and nothing else. In the Vedanta, there also is having another 6 schools inside the Vedanta. One Vedanta, and again in the Vedanta there are many schools, and like the Vishishta Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, Achinta Veda Veda, Veda Aveda Vada, Dvaita Vada, like that. It goes on changing. Why so many schools? As I was telling, because we are free to think. So different type of people, they are coming and they are thinking, they are developing a school. In the philosophy, there are 2 different types. One is logical understanding, another is realization. When we are having only the logical understanding, that's called philosophy, which you learn in the universities and colleges. We go to different people, and from there, and slowly, from the teachers, we learn very simple, a logical understanding. What is the logical understanding? I am a human being. I am thinking in this process. There's another being called animal, maybe a cow or dog, but he can't think like me. Why? And the birds, the reptiles, all are living beings. I am also a living being. They are also eating, sleeping, resting, fighting. All that I do, they are also doing. Then what is the difference? So then you have to go on understanding logically. This is a knowledge. But apart from that, understanding the reality perfectly is called Vijnana. In the Sanskrit term called Vijnana. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used this term again and again called Vakyas. And in that Vijnana, there we find that it says you have to realize it. And in the quoting Sri Ramakrishna very nicely, he is telling, some people have heard about milk. They have not seen what is milk. Milk is a white liquid, that much they have heard. And then some people have seen that white liquid, milk. And some people have drank that milk and become strong. So that is called realization. Understanding the milk, knowing about milk, is a logical philosophy. Now, the spiritual life, these are the two. Some people, they go up to that level, intellectual level, understanding, and that much. They never apply that knowledge in their own life. So there's no realization. So experimental and logical understanding. Then experimental, if it goes, then you have to follow the strict rules. I like to know about the physics, but I am not a physicist. The basic physics that I know, why is happening this, why is happening that, that much. But the moment you are a physicist, you have to have a laboratory and the testing and this and that, and you have to come to the conclusion, you have to write the papers, you have to publish those papers, then people will criticize. Things goes on. In the philosophy also same thing. So Shankaracharya came, Ramanuja came, and Dvaita Acharyas they came, and they were practicing that, they were writing, they were publishing, they were arguing, establishing their own views. Then they came to know that we call them rishis, and they came to know that it's true. From one, everything has come. There cannot be two. The moment there is two, there is a coalition, there is a fight, and going to break. The moment there are two, there is a finite. It's not infinite. Anything. Suppose in the whole this room there is a glass of water, the bottle of water, and in this bottle there is no air. That means the air that is pervading all through this room, absent in it. There's a little portion. But we cannot say the air in everything. Something is there where air is not. And similarly, when we see that or say that God is all pervading, then the question is, what is this world? Brahman is all pervading. Then the question, what is this world? Is Brahman created this universe? Where from the universe has been created? That is the main question. And that is the highest question. We don't need to know that for our general survival. The normal way, if I am knowing some of the subjects and then utilize that knowledge for earning money, I can earn money, I can have my family, and one day nicely I will die and pass away, that's all. No problem. But the people cannot stop in this way. People always go on asking, who am I? Where from have I come? Where I am going to go? What is going to happen to me after death? So these are the questions haunting these people. So they came and they say, ultimately, Sadaiva Brahma, Sadaiva Somya, Idam Agra Asit, Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Ekam, this one, Eva, truly, Advitiyam. When you say one, that is one. Then why you have to say that there is no two? To give the emphasis. There is no two at all. And this no two, again, friends, before we go to understand that Maha Vakyas, the great statements, the steps by which we can understand the reality, it's better to understand why we should practice that. So why we should practice? Because there is only one. But I am thinking that I am separate. I am thinking I am a man and there is a woman and that is a poor person, there's a illiterate and rich and so varieties. Is it true really? So all these things are different? It cannot be. Because if it is different, it will go on colliding and destruction will come. But no. Things are constantly going on, generating and surviving and living. That must be there. And then they started thinking. Pramana, that is another. Pramana means you have to prove. Unless and until you can prove. Now, this young lady, she is singing. And when she goes to someone and in the group, can you sing? Yes, I can sing. Then they will say, sing. You have to prove. You have to sing there. And when you are singing, then only you can prove it. I am a doctor. Is it? Can you please say what happened to this gentleman? You have to prove. So your knowledge you have to prove. Otherwise people don't believe you. So this is the main thing. Prove. Without the proof we cannot accept. And this is the importance of Hinduism. They never impose, they never say, believe it, because we have said it. Because it is in the Bible, because it is in this Tripitaka, because it is in the Quran, because it is in the Gita, you must believe it, not like that. I must understand it. Is it true or not? And in my own way I should understand. That freedom should be there. So pramana. Then the students are coming to the teachers and they are asking, can you please tell me in a way that I can understand Brahman? Brahman is all pervading. If it is all pervading, how it is possible that I can understand Brahman? Because my limit is there. I cannot understand the unlimited thing because my mind, my conception, my intellect is limited. How can I understand the unlimited? How to do? Then the father told, see, this is called realization. But anyway, then he said, when you say that that is a horse, I can understand. Tell me in that fashion, that is Brahman. Then I will understand. Then the father told, what is that tree? It's a fig tree. Can you please go and pluck a fruit from that tree? And the son brought it. Will you please break it for me? He broke it. What is there inside? The small tiny little fruit he broke, and inside there is hundreds of small seeds. Can you take out one? He took out. Can you break it? Again he broke. What is there? Then the son told, nothing. The small tiny little seed, when you break, there is nothing. The father told, you cannot see, but there is something from which this huge tree comes up. As similarly, you cannot see the God, the Brahman, the Atman, in different names. We are calling that, from which all these things have come. So when you cannot see that, there is something in that small tiny little seed which is containing that huge tree. So why don't you believe? And this is something which you have to realize, subjective knowledge. So they say, the moment you say the Brahman which is one has become many, the contradictory, the one becoming many means, does it mean the one I am breaking? There is suppose a piece of paper. Now I am tearing it and making so many small pieces of papers. And now you come and say, give me that big paper, I gave it to you. Can I give it to back? No. Because I have already the same paper I have tore and made different pieces. Now if you again put those together, that will come. Is it that the Brahman has become all these so many varieties and the Brahman is exhausted? There is no Brahman. They said no. He is there. How? Then the Shankaracharya, the great mind, he came and told, because of the Maya. And what is that Maya? The power of God. And it conceals and then superimpose something else. So this is the Vedantic way of presenting this creation, presenting this creation. But the others, they say, God wanted to create, God created. Don't ask question. Now the thing is, you have to go back to God. How can you go? You have to pray to God. If He is happy, then only He will take you back to Himself. And what is going to happen to me if I go to God? You will be in great joy. How long I will be in great joy? And that place where you will be called heaven. How long I will be there? As long as God wishes. Or suppose you make one mistake, God will ask you, go back. That much. You are getting a good job, you are coming over here and settling down. Then somebody said, don't give him passport or the green card. Then after some time they say, no, you are not, go back. So it may happen like that. That depends on God. So much uncertainty. But the Vedantins say, no, it cannot be. Because if the God has created me out of what He has created, because there is no anything else except God, He has created me out of Himself. God has created me out of Himself. That means I am either a part of God or I am God. So naturally, God cannot say, you go away. I am His part. So someone told that God is different and you are different. You are constantly depending on the grace of God, or otherwise God can put you in the heaven or in the hell. It is His wishes. You cannot say anything. That is called Dvaitavadin. And again someone came, he said, no, we are the part and parcel of God. Vishishta Dvaita. But Shankara came and told, no. Because there was nothing except that consciousness. We are also consciousness. Now how come the consciousness has having this type of body and mind, something subtle, something gross, something inert, something living? How is it possible? Then the Vedanta says, it is the reflection, it is not true. When the sun and the moon is reflecting on the waves, thousands of suns and moons you see, as it is, bright. But it is not true. If you keep the mirror, that light will be so much, dazzling your eyes, but that light is not true. It's the reflection. So the original thing is there, and we are nothing but the reflection. And how come that this reflection, we are taking it so seriously and thinking this is true, and then we are crying, we are fighting, we are suffering, so many things are happening. Why it is? Then the Vedantin says this is ignorance. Now this moment we may not understand this. We are not ready to accept this particularly because it is not going into our head and it's difficult for us to understand. Rather, it is so easy, go to God and pray, and God is there, we will pray, God is merciful, as assumption that God is merciful. So we are going to God, each and every one. Millions and millions of people in the whole world in following the different religion, they are only thinking that God is merciful, and if we go, if we pray, we will get the blessings of God. It's true. But who is that God? That is a wonderful thing. The Sufi saint, he said, you are that. And in the Vedanta long back they are telling in that way. But then what we are? Brahman. Where from we have come? Brahman. Brahman means all-pervading consciousness. There are two Brahmans? No. Then they say Nirvishesha and Swabhishesha. Nirvishesha means devoid of any characteristics. There is no characteristics. And Swabhishesha with characteristics. Now a baby was born. No characteristics, just a little baby. Nice little baby. And that baby became the king of the country. And Swabhishesha, now he is having some characteristics. Oh, you were the baby, I used to take you on my lap, you cannot say like that. Now he is the king, not at least openly. So this way it goes. And let us come to understand the great philosophy that is, they say, how to understand that? If you go to the Dvaitavadin, the Dvaitavadin will say that you have to practice in this way. Then only you will realize God. What is the practices? Most of the Dvaitavadins, like the Vaishnavas, the Shaktas, the Ganapatyas, the Sauras, all they have a God's name. I like this God, and go on repeating the name of God, and that is called Mantra Diksha. Through the Mantra Diksha, you receive that mantra from the Guru who has practiced it and realize that he gives you that name, you goes on repeating that, you will reach over there. It's true. Now here, if you go to the Vedantin, what the Vedantin will say? Vedantin will say, no, you only listen and ponder over that. That's all, and nothing else. They say only 3 steps. Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Listen very carefully what I am telling. If you go to a Vedantin Guru, the master, the teacher, he will say, I will tell you, but you have to listen and go on pondering over it. The 2 brothers, they went to the great God and said, Father, can you please tell us who you are? Then he said, Tattvamasi, you are that. Then the brothers, they were coming back, they were thirsty, they went to a pond, they saw the water, and both of them saw their reflection on the water, and the younger brother started telling, see, this is me, this reflection. And the father told, I am that. I am that great God. That means this body that I am that God. The other one told, no, that cannot be. Because this body is constantly changing. And God cannot change. If the God is also changing, it will be very difficult. There must be something which is not changing at all. That's why they say Amara, Akshaya. The Akshaya, there is no decay in it. And we are decaying every moment. This body cannot be. But the junior brother said, I am satisfied. I am going with this knowledge. I am going to live in this way. He became Asura. And he concentrated everything on his body and mind. But the senior brother went back and asked the father, he is telling like that, but I am thinking it is not possible. What do you think? He said, you are correct, but I am not going to explain. Go again, ponder. Go again, meditate on that. You are on the right track, right path, that's true. But go on, develop your own. So he went and did the tapasya for many, many years. He became Devata. So Devata and Ashura are Danava. Sura and Asura. What is Sura? The knowledge, lighted one. Asura, the darkest one, it became without knowledge. What is that knowledge? Atma-jnana. Now we will have a little discussion on this called Maha, Vakyas. This Maha Vakyas called great statements. And 4 different Vedas, through 4 different Upanishads, they told these great statements. Perfect understanding of these great statements, as uttered by the teacher, merge 3 things into one. That's called, in Sanskrit terminology, it's say Triputi Veda. Triputi means 3 things. You have to pierce 3 things in one go, with one arrow. You know that Shiva, Tripurari. So Shiva also, with his trident, he killed the 3 demons. Actually, all stories. The 3 things you must understand. What is the 3 things? Knowledge, knower, and the object of that knowledge. Jnana, Jnata, and Gya. Jnana, the knowledge. Jnata, the knower, the student, and object of the knowledge. The Jnana, that knowledge, that will give you help only. But who is knowing whom? The student is knowing the subject. And when the student is understanding that, what becomes? The student becomes master into that. He need not to go every time to the books to see what was written over there. He knows what is that knowledge. Now when you are driving, if you don't have all those ideas that how to drive, and anything every time you have to go on seeing what was written in the driving book, the how many tickets the police will give to you, there's no number. And you say, no, I am consulting the book. And then I am driving. You cannot do that. So that way we have to understand. The one gentleman was telling, this is just a story, funny story. One elderly lady was driving, he stopped him and said, Granny, what is this? Why you are driving 120 kilometers? You look at that. No, it is written over there. What? There, 120. That is the number of the road. 360 and all this, number of the road. But look at that white board on black, it is written that it is only 45 miles per hour. And you are driving in. Then the lady told, oh my God, it's good that you didn't catch me in 180. I was driving in that way. So that is if a misunderstanding of the knowledge. So there should not be anything like that. Jnana, Jnata, and Gya. You know the 3 things. And here it says the Rig Veda, Aitareya Upanishad. The name of the Upanishad is Aitareya. And the Veda is the Rig Veda. What it says? Prajnanam Brahma. Nothing else. So when you go, the Guru will say, practice 12 years meditation and then come to me. And after 12 years when you go, he says only Prajnanam Brahma and nothing else. Immediately that reveals, oh, that is true. The knowledge is that supreme. What is that knowledge? Knowledge of one. The moment that dawns the knowledge of one, then what becomes? What happens? You become really one who is all pervading. For example, we can say that drop of water now falling in the ocean, the small tiny drop becomes the ocean. It's just like that. The moment it goes to that, the knowledge, I am one. Now today what I am thinking, these are my own people, some known, mostly known faces, 1 or 2 unknown faces, I know them. When I see these faces somewhere else, immediately I feel joy. Oh, I know him. I go, oh, how is it that you are also here, I am also here. Like that, we feel joy. In the unknown places, among the unknown people, it's so difficult. we went to visit one country, and a gentleman was with me. He was born and brought up in South India, and the South Indian people, when they say yes, they say no, like this. So that is the habit, it goes like this, right? So then just a habit. Yes, okay, like this, they will all say. And he went to the officer, immigration officer in that country. He was telling, is it all right? And he became furious. Why like this you are doing? He became furious. I am also confused. Are you standing there? And what is happening? Just because he was not aware of that custom, the system, the way they behaved, the immigration officers, he behaved very rudely. He was not supposed to. He should have known, because in international, the airport, different people are coming, he should have. And the immigration officer in that particular place, he is the God. You cannot say anything. So he said, like that. So you have to be very quiet and calm and without moving your limbs. He said, this is my passport, is it okay? Then he says, okay, go. Then, thank you. After coming out, then in your own mind you can say whatever you like. So similarly, known and unknown. The known and unknown become one because there is no other thing. Prajnanam Brahma. So knowledge is Brahman. The moment that knowledge comes, if you compare me and with my brother, we were born in the same family, same parentage, same school, and same atmosphere we grew up. But his thought and my thoughts are completely different. When sometimes my friends and the people, they will ask, in a completely unknown place, how you are living? I said, no, they're all known people. What is unknown? Known. It's only the same people only. Same place, same way I live. There is, all the places are my home. I don't feel any difference. But a couple, they always go with me and they will say, is it okay if we go, or we can go to the hotel, we are comfortable there. And they are giving you the opportunity, you can go and stay. No, still, and when they are giving the hospitality, again we have to invite them, that is the custom. I don't feel like that. And I go and invite everyone, please come and stay within our ashram. But again, we write to them, $40 you have to pay per night because of our charges. So I invite them, but when they are coming, you have to pay. Very simple. For me, there is no problem. But what about the others? Why these differences? Because the more you grow, spiritual life, you don't find differences. You only find that I am that. Oh, how it is possible? Physically I have not changed. What has changed then? Knowledge. When we were all young people, how we used to think. Now when we are grown up, all things have changed. We are thinking in so many different ways. How it is possible? Prajnanam Brahma. That knowledge is Brahman. You are going to understand the Brahman, meditating on Brahman. So first all those things you should complete. Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, all the steps you must have to complete. That's why in the spiritual life when you come, majority of the religions, they will say, don't tell lies, don't hurt others, don't steal, don't create problem for others. These are all basic things. That is not religion. Basic moralities. But what is religion? I am that I am. What is religion? That realization, I belong to each and every one. When the young kids are coming and showing their mark sheets and parents are also happy, Swamiji, my daughter, she has secured this much number and I am feeling very happy. Immediately giving him the candies. Now this is, why? I don't never feel jealous. Why, that little daughter, that girl also belongs to me. She is my daughter. One American lady, she came. When I saw her face, I felt that she is in trouble. I told her, what happened to you? Swami, I am not happy. So, are you all right? No, I am not all right. So I told him, please come. I will sit with you. I will talk to you. So I was praying for that lady. Something has happened. I said, oh, this is good. What happened there? Then I enjoy. At the cost of her suffering, I enjoy and share that with my friends. You know what happened to that lady? These are the things. All gossip. No. That love, where from it came? No, I am just giving the example for myself. Don't think that I am the Brahma Jnani. Just an ordinary person. But what I felt, that I was before 40, 45 years, I have completely changed. I have grown up. Why? Because of the knowledge. How the knowledge came? Because of the scripture. Because of the Guru. Prajnanam Brahma. Knowledge is that Brahman. And this is, and self is consciousness. And that the definition, it is the conscious. That consciousness, again, we won't explain in one, we'll go and touch all the four. And second, the Yajurveda, Rig Veda, then second come the Yajurveda. In the Yajurveda, there is a great Upanishad. Upanishad is Brihadaranya. You know, the Veda means all type of knowledges. Veda means knowledge. Varieties of knowledges. Now, she was singing the music, it's a knowledge. And dancing, it's a knowledge. Painting arts is the knowledge. All that is there combined, that's called Veda. And in the Veda, there are small parts which is highly spiritual, that's called Upanishad. Upa means near. That particular system, that particular knowledge will help you to go near to the truth. So, Upanishad. Truly, it will take you to that truth. So, Upanishad. And here the Yajurveda, through the Brihadaranya Upanishad, it says, I am Brahman. Only a Hindu can say this. No one dared to say. The moment they will say that I am Brahman, next day his head will be rolling somewhere. The great protector of the religion, they will go, you cannot say that. They will never listen to your argument. That is the terrible part. So sometimes some people who said that I am that, they were immediately bitten and they were killed, they were tortured, their followers were tortured. So among the Muslims also there's a sect Baha'i, the Baha'i temple, the beautiful temples, the Baha'i sect, Bahatullah, he felt like that, I am that Allah, I have seen Allah. Had we been there, in the Hindus, they would have immediately made him another god. Instead, they killed him. And their followers were tortured. And they could not go anywhere else. They all came to India. And India is a wonderful country, wonderful culture. And they all embraced. Oh, you feel like this? No problem. Practice your own. You stay here, safe. That is India. We should not mar that. We should not destroy that particular culture. Because we feel Brahman is all-pervading. And if we say, no, our doors are closed for you, then all these great Maha Vakyas, the great statements of the Vedas will be destroyed. So that is why they say, I am Brahman. Aham Brahma Ashmi. Can you understand the great courage the person is telling? I am that God. How can he say that? Because he is feeling that way. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam bhaja. Krishna said, you give up all your duties and come to me. Follow me. And this me is not that particular Krishna. It is that ideology. So you have to go to that particular ideology. Krishna will take the different form, but ideology is there. So that is the reason the Hindus, they understand and they say, I am also that. Sometimes some people, they'll be going on, meditating on Krishna, 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 and then they will behave like that. The great joy always within. And that is called the God realization, and that is called Atma Jnana. I am that Brahman. And the moment you are thinking in that way, what will happen? When I teach the meditation, I say in the end, try to think that you are the light. You are merging with the God, and who is nothing but the light. And you are also light, all pervading. Think in that way. There is no existence of this body, mind. There is no separation. All over that light and joy. Be there for 2 minutes. Then slowly come back. And you will see that great joy. And that is why it's called Atmanam Brahma. Then if I am that what you are, then in the Samaveda, Chandogya Upanishad, another great Upanishad, it says, Tat Tvam Asi. You are also that. When we read in the Bible that Jesus is telling, I and my Father in heaven are one, and in the same Jesus is telling, the kingdom of heaven is within you, we the Vedantin can understand it immediately. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. You are also that. Then he says, how it is possible that I am also God? God is all pervading. And God is all knowing. God is all powerful. God is all merciful. But I am small. I have never any comparison with God. How can you say that I am God? Then they say, there are 3 different ways to understand. Immediately analyzing. What is that? Jahal Lakshana. Some of you must have heard. Ajahal Lakshana. And Jahal, Ajahal Lakshana. These are all Vedantic terms, you know. If you go to the doctors, they will give you the medicine's name, and it's so difficult to remember. But they all remember those things. But if you are studying Vedanta, these are the terminologies you have to remember. Jahal, Ajahal, Jahal, Ajahal, Lakshana. Lakshana means the way you understand it. That's called Lakshana. Now first, if you are going asking a friend, hey, where do you live? Oh, you don't know? Just on the lake. Come over there. I live on the lake. Can anyone live on the lake? That means he must be living on a houseboat or something like that that's in the Kashmir. No. He meant what? And you also understood that. How is it? He said, I live on that lake. And you understood that he is actually living on the shore, on the bank of the lake. So what happened? He said lake. You gave up the lake at all, completely. You added something else on the shore. The Jahal means giving up. When he is telling that, I am understanding that in between a process has taken shape. What is the process? I have not accepted the word lake. He is living, but not on the water, but by the side of that water on the shore. He didn't say it on the shore. I added that. So it's called Jahal Lakshana. And second, Ajahal Lakshana. I am not giving up, but at the same time, I am understanding correctly in my own way. What is that? Suppose you have gone to a car race, and then you came back and you are reporting to your friends. The red, it became fast. And it was moving so fast you cannot imagine. I knew that red is a color. How the color can move? The friend then will know you went to observe, you went to see the car race. And there must have been a red color car that was moving very fast. So he said only red. The red horse, and the horse race they go, the red will get the prize, first prize. Red is a color, red cannot run, red cannot move. But I understood immediately. There was no problem for me. How could you understand that? Because ajahal lakshana. I didn't give up the red. The red is there. But I immediately added, because he went to see the car race, to the color of a car. That's all. So you understand in this. So in our daily life, we are constantly coming into this type of thing. So Jahal, Ajahal. Now, Jahal, Ajahal, Lakshana. Then mix up two. What happened? Ram is a very good boy. Shyam is a bad boy. Ram is a rich boy. But Shyam is a poor man's son. But boy. Like this it goes. All different, completely different. Ram and Shyam. Is a poor, is fair, is dark, and like that it goes on. But in one common thing is there. What is that? Both of them are boys. Yes. So both of them are boys. I mean, God, which is consciousness, all pervading, an individual soul, which is also consciousness, but limited. God, who is having love, all pervading love, individual soul is having a little love. And like that, if you are comparing, all those qualities are present in both. And remove all those other things, that's called epithets. That he is tall, he is short, he is poor, he is rich. What remains? That both are there. So thou art that, you are that Brahman. So that way we reach, and that is called Jahal, Ajahal, Lakshana. Simply someone came and told you are Brahman, and I started jumping, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. No, that don't. You have to understand. And how you will understand? By applying these arguments. Jahal, Ajahal, Lakshana. So Swami Vivekananda said, quoting Upanishad, each soul is potentially divine. Each soul is potentially divine. Potentially, it is there. Now this little girl, she is learning the singing. We are clapping, it's okay. Someday it will be so difficult to get her. Even to attend her program, maybe, I'm just assuming, and I'll be very happy if it happens in her life. Maybe to go to attend her program, you have to purchase $500 ticket. Maybe, if you practice properly, it may. Practice makes a man perfect. So that way, if you are practicing, then someday all these great souls, they are singing. The one lady, she sings some Hindi thing, etc. And I heard that she is charging for one performance $80,000. Can you imagine 80,000? So that way she is charging, and even then people are going over there. So that is also happening. One day she was also just little girl. She was also practicing. She was also trying. So the practice, I am Brahman. I cannot do this thing. Why should I behave like this? Why should I tell lies? Why should I do this? Because I am the Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. So that way, after that we go. And finally, Atharva Veda, this Mundaka Upanishad, it says, Ayam Atma Brahman. This Atman, now friends, we have three things. Two we know. And the third one, we are not aware of it. What are the three things? This body. I am very much aware of this body. Then second thing is my mind. That also I am very much aware. But the third thing, I never think about it. And that is the soul. The people they call the soul, the Atman. That is the main thing in our whole living. I am living, I am moving, I am talking because of that particular soul, but I am not aware about it. I was telling today morning, for the body, so many things we do. We go and take the membership in the gym and regularly practicing these, that. And for the mind also we are going and listening songs and... But what about the soul? What is that, people will ask. What is that soul? But without that you cannot survive. You are living only for that. There is a beautiful, the way they explain. One gentleman made an accident, he was admitted in a hospital, and after everything was over, then the doctor came and told, now you are fine, you can now leave. But only thing, we are not going to charge for anything, no treatment or medicine, it's a free. But we hired or took some 5 cylinders of oxygens. Each cylinder cost $100, so you have to pay $500. Then the man told, for oxygen I have to pay $500, and all through my life I am going on taking the oxygen, I never cared. How many of us we really know the oxygen is so costly? When they give us the bill, then only we understand. And the health insurance will say, no, we are not covering that, so you pay. That will be terrible again. So that way, we do not know the oxygen is the main thing by which we are surviving. We do not know the soul, for that we are surviving. When we die, what is that? Everything is there. Still we say, okay, goodbye, thank you, peace unto you, and all that. We come out. So that is called Ayam Atma Brahma. We have to concentrate to that Atman, that consciousness. And how it is possible to concentrate on that Atman? How can I go to that? Then Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, first and foremost, you have to go to the holy people and understand about that. Sadhu Sangha, Sat Sangha. Or you won't understand anything. Unless and until you are going to a great singer, you won't be able to understand the basic thing of this song. All people are singing. But if you have to understand or learn, you have to go to a master. If you have to understand about the soul, you have to go to a master, a teacher, and that we call Guru. What is the word means? Guru, the 4-letter word, G-U-R-U. One who removes the darkness. What is the darkness? I am thinking that I am this body. I am thinking that I am this mind. That is darkness. In reality, I am the soul. And that way, if I see each and every one is having the same soul, and I always give this example wherever I go, look at these different type of lights. Some are long tube lights, it's a white, and it's a round lights, the yellow lights. Some are blinking, some are giving the steady light, so many varieties. Microphone is also working, and the AC is working. All different names, all different forms. But suppose there is no electricity, what will happen? No one will work. Everything will be there, the lights all will be there. All those physical bodies will be there. And similarly, if the soul is not there, all the physical bodies will be there. But it is not surviving. So, Ayam Atma Brahma. So friend, in short, Prajnanam Brahma. Then, Aham Brahman Ashmi. Third, Tattvam Asi. And fourth, Ayam Atma Brahma. So what we should do? Now we have heard it. After hearing Sravana, we have heard it. And we heard very attentively. We heard it. Then Manana. We have to go on thinking. He said that I am that Brahman. How is this possible? Then he explained Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Jahal Ajahal Lakshana. So, I am that. That is called thinking about whatever you have heard. Sravana, Manana. Manana in Sanskrit, going on, you're constantly thinking of that, Manana. Then finally, Nididhyasana. What is that? Sometimes some people, they translate as a meditation, dhyana, Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is not only meditation, it's the realization. Nididhyasana means realization. May by the grace of that Supreme Brahman, which is all pervading, and just for our own sake, so that we can concentrate, we can understand. The Upanishad has given us this symbol, the Omkara. The Hindus always have this symbol, the Omkara. This Omkara, Om iti Brahma, Katha Upanishad says. Why is it this Om is Brahman? No. If you are concentrating on that, you will reach to that. A-U-Ma. Aum. It is not Om, it is Aum. So A-U-Ma. When we concentrate on that, slowly, all other worldly thoughts go away. And then we become completely ego-free. And when my mind becomes ego completely free, a tremendous confidence comes, self-confidence. And that will help you to realize this. Thank you. And if you have any little question, do you have any time? If you have any question about it, then thank you very much.
Swami, towards the end you mentioned that Sri Ramakrishna suggested 3 things. You mentioned about satsanga.
Satsang.
What are the other
Then that Nirjan Bas. Nirjan Bas means you have to go to a secluded place and constantly going on thinking. Nirjan Bas. And Prarthana. Prarthana means dedicating yourself to the Supreme Being. So that is Sri Ramakrishna's suggestions. Any other questions? Okay.